A famous Vietnamese entrepreneur not too long ago posed a controversial question. Having too much money is for what? Nhiều tiền để làm gì? Many people laughed thinking he must have gone insane because of the incredible amount of money that he has. Jokes aside, should we be also asking this question? One, why do we usually associate money with success and happiness? And two, why do we usually question the sanity of those who said money is not the most important thing? Let's imagine that by hard work or by chance, we have the same amount of money like he has. What else will we be looking for? Some of you will say you will quit your job, you will travel around the world in your private jet, you will buy a fancier car, bigger house, or you will contribute to charity. Great. What else after that? Quitting our job, buying fancier things, traveling around the world, or contributing to charities are only activities on the surface. On a deeper level, when everything is quiet and when there is no need to prove anything to anybody, regardless of the amount of money that we have, we will still asking this question, why am I here? For starter, this question is easy to answer. I am here because I need to work, I need to make money, I need to have a better life. I am here because I want to prove myself and I want to have better status. Once we make more money than we can spend and when we can prove ourselves, this question gets harder to answer. Money, popularity, power, and many other material things are not the ultimate answer for this question. So what is it? Our parents and school taught us many things, but not enough on questioning why am I here. Some of us never knew or had the time to question. Some of us questioned early but could never answer. Some of us associate it with religious calling. Whatever form it is, the timing of this question is tricky and the answer is not always straightforward. Despite the importance of this question, we usually do not spend enough time for it or treat it seriously unless we go through an extraordinary event like losing someone we really love, committing a criminal act, or simply just having too much money, just to realize it is not really what we're looking for. About 8 years ago, I was at the peak of my early career. I was working for big corporations, participating in important projects, and making more money than most of my peers. I had a dream profile and everything I wished for, but it was not enough. I didn't feel satisfied. Now looking back, despite having an early and well-organized start, I was not prepared well enough for life. I succeeded in the pre-design program like everybody has to go through. 12 years of schooling with good grades, 4 more years of schooling with good grades, 2 more years of higher education with good grades, finding a good job, working very hard with good pay. When the pre-design program ended, for the first time, there was no more pressure, there was no more expectation, there was no one there to tell me where to go or what to do next. There was no right or wrong. Everything were most in the gray. Fortunately, I knew that I need to address this concern. Putting all emotional parts aside, I treated it as a problem with that I really need a concrete answer, just like any math problem. So I really focus my energy and time and attention to understand about myself, who I was, where I were, and who I wanted to become, and set out my own definition of success and happiness. During this transformation process, I met my husband, and I am forever grateful for it. Fast forward, when my husband and I were expecting our first child, and our doctor told us that we have to prepare for a very difficult decision due to a risky implication. All the things that we thought that were problems before suddenly became nothing compared to what we were facing. while we were facing some difficulties during this time, I also realized that despite how much we talk about gender equality and fairness, most of us still didn't think that pregnant women and young mothers can work, including people that I used to work with. I was too soft to advocate at that time, but luckily I was able to question further and push myself for answer in a different way. And this time it was not only just for me, but also for our children. Even if it meant I had to give up everything I had worked for over 10 years and start everything all over again. Leaving everything behind, while being a young mother with a 4-month-old baby, I started a company called Azad, doing what I know best with a vision that I heartfully believe in. And ever since then, I start feeling alive again with my work. And now one of my biggest fear at work is that I do not have enough time to finish what I want to do. Definition of success is different from one person to another. I do not have all the answers, and each of us have to find it out in our own way, but at least I can share with you this. We do not need to have a baby or an apocalypse to realize what we want to do with our life or our purpose of life. It's never too late or too early to answer these questions or to ask this question. If you really want to, and if you haven't, you can start right now. Our life in theory spans for around 100 years. And we now live twice longer than most of our ancestors 200 years ago. For over a century, we managed to add an average of 0.3 years for every single year that we live. So if our technology and our science can get so advanced to the point that we can add 1 or more years faster than every year we live, we could become immortal. But of course, this theory is still up for debate. So the good news is that we are getting more time than before, or getting more time than we think we have. But the bad news is that most of our system and thinking still reflect a significant part of 200 years ago. For example, our first 20 years is still quite of an autopilot program. And we still try to rush everything to be done by 30. We still judge someone by the amount of money or the where they are in the corporate ladder by 30. So by saying this, I am not advocating for procrastination. What I am saying that instead of rushing to make the wrong decision, to be so bored or regret or not doing anything useful for the rest of our life, then we should really spend the time to find out who we are, where we are, who do we want to be, where do we want to be, how do we get to where we want to be from where we are, and commit to it. Japanese has a useful concept for practicing healthy long living called ikigai. It is about finding the right combination of doing what we love, what we are good at, what the world needs, and what we can be paid for. Some of you said it sounds good in theory. Some of you told me that you do not know what you like, or you are easily being distracted by many things around you. To some extent, I agree, life is not perfect. Sometimes things are easier to understand for some people, or sometimes things are easier to understand for most people. Sometimes choosing what to commit for the rest of our life is also a choice. We spend a lot of time for options and decisions, but not enough time to understand the principle that guides all those decisions. Once we know why we are here and why we do what we do, we will be able to make better decisions. And with better decisions, we can live a healthier life and create much more impact. Life is not too short like many people say. The journey is long, so it's very important for us to find a meaningful hobby that can excite and make us feel alive until our last day. This is also how we can develop our mastery, bring breakthroughs, build trust, and leave this world a better place. Life is not a race from 20 to 30. Life is really more like a marathon from 0 to 100 or even longer. So it is not about trying to get ahead fast at the beginning, but it's about choosing which marathon we want to be in, being able to enjoy it and finish it with a rewarding feeling and finish it in good shape. That is a life worth living for, a life with purpose and dignity that can also be useful and inspiring to others.